E stands for Guglielmi detachable coil. Guido Guglielmi is the physician that actually invented the GDC coils. So this is kind of nice just to show the history. 1994 was the first clinical case, basically the first clinical trial that was done. And then in 1995 was our first detachable coil, and that's when we received FDA approval. So, and you look at the cadence of where things came in. So in 1995, we had our first soft coil, and then we followed that up a year later with the 2D coil. And what that means is the 2D loop is actually put on at 75% of the coil's stated diameter. That loop helps anchor the coil into the aneurysm. So if you were to just have it be a true 2 millimeter coil, for instance, if you have a 2 millimeter, that first loop is 1.5 millimeters. It just acts as an anchor so that all coils start to break and go from there. In 1998, we came out with our first complex coil, which is a 3D shape. The 3D shape is basically a small omega, large omega. That shape is very nice for perfectly shaped berry aneurysms or for square shape aneurysms, but it doesn't necessarily adhere to complex shapes, multi-lobulated, that type of thing. 1999 came out with our first stretch-resistant coil, and we accomplished that by putting a 00 polypropylene suture through the middle of our coils. So they're stretch-resistant. And then in 2000, we came out with the ultra-soft coil. So an ultra-soft coil is 50% softer than a soft coil. And then in 2002, we came out with our Matrix 1 coil. And then in 2004, and this is a little outdated, 2004 we came out with the 360 coil shape design. And here it shows it in the standard and in the soft. And I'm gonna get into detail about what that shape means. But any questions on kind of the history of the coils and where they came from? One thing to point out is this is what the box looks like to detach our coils. It goes through what's called electrolytic motion-free detachment. So you basically create, it's a monopolar detachment system. So you put a ground in the patient, and that black ground goes to the box, as well as there's a red coil or red connecting cable that goes from the box to the copper portion of the cable, or I'm sorry, of the coil. So right here is actually copper colored. That creates your positive anode, and then the black would be your negative anode. So it just basically goes through this circuit, and once the box detects detachment, it usually takes about 25 seconds to detach. So that's that. And I don't know if you